Hello friends, welcome to this video, which is not going to be the typical video. It's just going to be video like this. There's going to be nothing on the screen, long form or short, just talking. And it's kind of like a daily vlog, but I'm not committing to this daily or anything by any means. There will be a playlist called Agency Vlog likely, where if there's future videos like this, it will fall under that playlist. It's not optimized for engagement. Really, I'm kind of doing it because I feel like doing it. And I have no care to make this some clickbaity and high engagement video with lots of cutscenes and stuff. So for YouTube standards, it's going to be very boring, but I'll try to make it as valuable and insightful as possible. So the questions I'm going to answer in this video are pretty straightforward. These are kind of the things I wanted to just talk about by myself here in this office. What did I do today? How did I feel today? Productivity rating, enjoyment rating, current bottleneck in the agency, current MRR, revenue, profit, all that stuff. Just some metrics, numbers. How I feel about the agency overall right now. These are kind of the questions I want to answer. And again, I'm not rushing through this. I'm just talking at a normal tone, at a normal pace, not optimizing for engagement. So it will be relatively boring relative to anybody who's trying to grow a YouTube channel quickly. So what did I do today? Well, today was Monday, August 2nd. I'll probably release it tomorrow. Maybe I'll release it tonight. But today was lots of meetings. If I look at my calendar, Mondays are like write-offs, which I don't necessarily like. It's actually been on my mind, and I'm thinking of trying to figure out how to change this. But for example, woke up around, I think it was 8 a.m. Should have woke up at 7:30, slept extra 30 minutes, felt like it was needed. Went to the gym, got back from the gym, meditated, then had a weekly leadership meeting at 10 a.m. Basically started work around 9:30 a.m. Did some urgent response stuff, email, and I did that because there was only 30 minutes until the next meeting. So you can't enter deep work. There's no point in trying to enter deep work into a big project if there's a meeting in 30 minutes, which this is going to lead to the problem that's been bothering me with Mondays. So leadership meeting went well. I won't go into details, I guess, maybe later, but then there was a team meeting. So leadership meeting 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Then there was a team meeting 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. This is 2 standing calls that we have every week. 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. is basically meetings on Monday. So Mondays suck in the sense that if there's something project that I really want to work on that I need to try to go deep on, that has whatever that I feel I want to work on and it's urgent, I can't start working on that until these 2 meetings are done. But here's the kicker. Typically, deep work days are best done started in the mornings when you have high glucose, high energy because you've just woken up. And there's this kind of prime time for building. In my opinion, this is subjective to me. I don't know if everybody else is like this, but I work best on major projects if I wake up and I start working on this thing and I have no distractions for 6 to ideally 10 hours. 12 hours ideally, and I can just eat lunch, eat dinner, and work on this one thing for 12 hours. And if I do that, let's say the project is if I do that in the project, I might get it done in 12 hours if I'm able to do it in one day. But if I have to work 3 hours a day on the project for 4 hours, which would be 12 hours total, it won't come out to be being done in 12 hours because start, stop, 3 hours, not really enough time to get into deep work. You can kind of get into it, but I noticed that you really get deep and in the zone and flowing after 2-3 hours. So yeah, it like if you work 3 hours a day on a project for 4 days, it might actually end up taking you 20 hours or 24 hours, so double the time. And again, I've never really tracked projects in deep work versus undeep work. Like, you can't necessarily do that. This is just an intuitive knowingness based on all the time spent working on projects in deep work and not in deep work. So had those 2 meetings, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Then at 12 was really hungry, decided to eat lunch early. Normally I eat lunch at 1:30, but I'm also trying to gain weight right now, so eating a bit more than usual. So immediately ate after those meetings because I don't want to get into deep work and then try to eat because I don't have to stop. I just want to eat and then be able to go into deep work. But I had a meeting at 1 p.m., which I ended up canceling because I was like, man, I really need to get some work done on the projects I need to get done. And didn't get too much done from 1 p.m. to around 3-ish. It was kind of just lots of admin stuff. The bank called me. They needed something urgently for this house that we're purchasing. That was a 5 to 10 minute ordeal, nothing major. Then there was, probably a couple things going on in Slack that probably took my attention away, and decided, this is ridiculous. I have another call coming up at 4 p.m., which was a coaching call for Agency Enlightened. I have an hour and a half. I'm going to get through all this admin work and responses and everything, and just do lots of admin stuff and see if I can knock it all out. And then after the coaching call and Agency Enlightened, I'll hop into some deep work stuff. That was my plan. So I had to call at 3 p.m. with a recruiter, gave feedback to the recruiter. 3:30 rolls around. It's 30 minutes to my next call. Well, not enough time to get into deep work. So go into the just admin mode, doing more admin stuff. And it seems like admin, there's just unlimited things to do. So this is kind of a rant on the whole day, but the major takeaway here is it's difficult to get into deep work if you have all these calls. Now, every day of the week isn't like this. Mondays are just the worst. Again, they're not bad days. It's just for trying to get deep work done, yes, they are not optimal days. It's just not an optimal day. I basically write off Mondays as an admin day, which almost bothers me because admin shouldn't be a day. It should be a 30-minute time block every other day or every day. Ideally once a week and nothing more. You shouldn't be doing that much admin. So yeah, finished the coaching call with Agency Enlightened. That only ran 30 minutes, which was good, but it's 4:30 at this time. It's mid-afternoon, which is where you start to kind of feel the sluggishness of the mid-afternoon. Popped a NeuroGum, which is our client's product, which is caffeinated gum. And this is 50 milligrams of caffeine. It was okay, I'll try to get into deep work. Popped that. Probably got I knocked out some small stuff on some minor projects, but didn't work at all on the major project I wanted to work on. So that was today, and I kind of go through the day just feeling fuck, I really wanted to work on this one thing. I didn't get to work on it. This has been a repetitive thing on Mondays. Do I accept this or can I control it? It's difficult because the calls all seem pretty much like a necessity. Agency Enlightened's coaching calls are non-negotiable. Those must get done, and they're typically not too long because obviously the program hasn't launched yet, and so there's not a ridiculous amount of people in there. So typically they'll run anywhere between 20 to 30 minutes. So the only calls they could get rid of is, there's this recruiting call, there's this leadership call, there's this team meeting call. But I love talking with the team. I feel it's really important. Well, leadership calls definitely. In terms of team calls, it's more of a connection than it is a necessity, because it's not I'm adding tremendous value to the team calls. I've questioned the team calls that we have weekly. They're kind of like weekly sync calls where we can all sync up on what we're working on, but how much value comes out of them? Yeah, I'd say the most value that comes out of them is pretty much just the connection that we get talking with the team. It's difficult when you're remote because, like, how do you get everybody on a call? Well, you have to get everybody on a call, and then like connecting with them isn't like the most natural thing in the world because like this was a scheduled meeting. It's not like we were just walked in the office, we decided to go for lunch, and we talked about random stuff during lunch. Like nobody calls each other during lunch typically. Sometimes I have calls with people during lunch, but never talking about random stuff. It's usually about work. So yeah, that's kind of the situation with Mondays. That was the day. I would say that, how did I feel today? Just as the day started and continued, gradually more disappointed about not being able to go deep on this couple of things. One is building out DSP systems for the programmatic advertising service that we have, and two is I believe software was the thing I was wanting to hop into, and just really trying to figure out all the different pieces that are potentially blockers on my end. So the software one I did get done. It wasn't actually a lot, to be honest, and it sucks also because the dev team that we have is not in the US or not anywhere. Time zone's totally different, so talking with them, communication is not instant, which is, makes working on things hard because it's like, hey, I'm trying to do this, but then I need some help. Well, they're not going to get back to me for 12 hours, so I might as well give up on what I was trying to do to get into deep work. So this is more issues of like, when you have teams in different time zones, man, it's fucking hard. Like you can't, the communication's not real time. And this is why we've really consolidated hiring account executives into the United States, because we're all in the same time zone, right? It's all very close, within plus or minus 2-3 hours, basically. Yeah, so that's been, more prevalent and more of a realization in the last 6 to 12 months in terms of time zones and teams, and just the efficiency of teams on the same time zone versus not on the same time zone. So today I felt like pretty good through the most of the day, but just not like super excited about really anything that I was working on. And I didn't walk away from today feeling great about the work that was done, because it was just lots of admin stuff that I know can be like delegated or done elsewhere. And I know it's not necessarily like anything that adds tremendous value to the company. So why am I doing all this stuff? So yeah, we've hired an executive assistant who, that's been great. And now there's stuff that's kind of being offboarded to her. And she's very new, so nothing's really, I don't have any updates or progress where I can say that she's performed amazing or anything. But her vibe is amazing. She's great. Spent ridiculous amounts of hours hunting for this person on Upwork. So I hope it works out really well, but I think it will. Anyways, so a lot of this admin stuff that's kind of bothering me and taking up a lot of time is definitely I'm trying to leverage her as much as possible, and started with a couple projects that are decent projects that should save some time and hopefully can accelerate this to be more as time progresses and as see how she works and everything. But yeah, productivity rating, I don't know, felt like a 2 out of 10 day, to be honest. Lots of just, again, admin stuff, constantly changing tasks is very taxing on my brain. Not the kind of person who likes multitasking or trying to do like one thing and then another thing and then another thing and another thing. I just cannot stand that. It's absolutely draining. I can do it. It's just absolutely draining, and like working 6 hours of doing that feels like 12 hours to me. And I just it's difficult to work from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. doing admin related stuff. It's just like, what in the world? So yeah, reflecting a lot on just like, hey, this cannot like, continue. I can't just like keep doing all this stuff. It's not at all beneficial for the whole of the company, and need to figure out what is an absolute necessity for me to do and what isn't, and basically eliminate, automate or delegate the rest. The EAD framework, very relevant still to this day. EAD, eliminate, automate, delegate. And this is a constant ongoing thing. I think as you grow, as you hire more people, things get more complex. You start to say yes to more things. This means you have less time for other things. And you got to be very careful about what you say yes to. So, starting to realize that more. I've had lots of people reach out, and like, I feel like also I've turned on notifications for certain things like Slack. WhatsApp, temporarily I just turned it off because it's like an absolute nightmare, and just like seeing notifications pop up on the phone will distract me from doing one thing and pull me into another thing. Also not been good because it's like I'm optimizing the environment to feed the brain to create these multitasking like scenarios, which is very taxing, which is not for me. So yeah, I've gotten lots of feedback from Destiny and Alex, who's in leadership at Better AMS, saying that like your response times suck. You need to be more responsive. And I'm like, well, the best way I can do that is turn on notifications. And I've been way more responsive now. Like response times have probably gone up 10,000%, but productivity on major projects that need to be worked on has gone down tremendously. And also just like happiness levels have gone down. Not happiness levels for me go down because productivity goes down. Like I'm not happy if I don't get to walk away from the day feeling like I at least got to work half the day on something that was needed to be worked on and that could only be worked on by me because like this is more or less my strength. So anyways, enjoyment rating 2 out of 10, maybe 3 out of 10. Current bottleneck in the agency: training, operations, training, management, hiring. It feels like we're getting close to having it fixed. I don't know. We hired a great recruiting agency. They've been going really well. Amazing communication, great expectation setting, great vibes. I feel really good about them. They've been working for 5 weeks. They said their fill rate on the position will be 5 to 6 weeks. It hasn't come to fruition, but it's okay because it's the first time hiring this person in this role with them, and it is a pretty specialized, niched role. So anyways, current MRR, 102,000 was the MRR for July. We lost some clients. It was also a slow month in terms of advertising revenue for the majority of our accounts. Let's see. Profit was the worst it's ever been, mainly just because we booked this Los Angeles. We went on a company retreat to Vegas and a leadership offsite to LA. So those expenses added up to be quite a lot. And also we had, I think, bonuses. Maybe that was the month prior. Yeah, that was definitely. Anyways, we had a lot of one kind of expenses come off. So profit was very low, 1%. This month, August, it'll probably be in the high teens, ideally low to mid 20s. So that's it. Yeah, this has been helpful, I think, for me, just doing this vlog. We'll see if it continues, but definitely I enjoyed making this. Something I'm going to be thinking about for the rest of this night is just how to get my days back to predominantly open so that I can actually work on projects and get them done in a timely manner. So that'll be interesting. All right, ladies and gents, let me know your thoughts on this. Again, it's not built to be high value in short time with engaging. So keep that in mind if you want to give feedback on this. It's very much just kind of done for myself, but also I think could be beneficial for others. Inside my mind, I suppose. Yeah, for the day. All right, much love, everybody. Hopefully you enjoyed this, and I'll see you in another video. Ciao.